Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Motivation Monday. We are now in the month of September. Motivation Monday, September 2nd. Happy Labor Day. And shout outs to all of the union workers out here that are doing the damn thing. We believe in hard work because hard work has got us to this place where we are now, which is what we're fighting for. So if you guys have not, I need you guys to please go take a moment and get registered to vote. Go to vote.org. This election cycle has been very, very stressful from the other party, but I want you guys to please get registered to vote if you have not. Have your voice heard because they are trying to take away our freedom. And it is very, very imperative that you guys go and check your polling location. And not only check your polling location, but also check and make sure that if you're good and set to go for November 5th. November 5th is election, so everybody will be heading to the polls November 5th. But I need you guys, if you have not, please go and get registered to vote. So, without further ado, Fashion Dolls, I'm going to welcome back to the dollhouse the multifaceted monster. He is back for his second interview with me in the new month kicking off September. So, without further ado, Fashion Dolls, let's welcome back to the dollhouse multifaceted monster. Hello.
Hello. You hear
Welcome
me okay?
back. What were you saying? I couldn't hear
You
you.
hear me okay now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Awesome. Just wanted to check the volume. I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Yourself? I can't complain.
Saying, yeah, I can't complain. It's been a little warm. It's a little warm, but that's the only complaint I really got.
Yes. Yes. But the months will be getting cooler. Looking good. Well, I gotta go to Mexico to get a good connection on your show. LOL. Oh, you're in Mexico, Shay Shay. I hope you're having fun and being safe. And I appreciate you for checking out the show. Yes, welcome if you're just joining in. We are back. We're in the month of September. We're kicking off a whole new month. Before you know it, the year will be out. So, how, since our last conversation, because the last time we were here, you were here promoting your single, Misery. So, you have another single out, which you'll be getting into in this interview. But since then, you touched on a number of things in our very first interview, from dealing with alcoholism to a number of things in that interview that we first did. So, what has changed since then?
Well, still sober. That, that's one of those things you don't want. But in between then and now, a lot has changed as far as just diving deeper into creativity and being able to connect with other artists, work a little more consistently with others, and continuing to develop relationships with other people. I've been promoting recently one of my singles that I dropped, Push. It's
Yeah.
that's one of my that seems to be a fan favorite right now. And that was one of my when I made this funny, like you hear stories like this often where it may not be the artist's favorite or the one that you put the most effort into, where people just love that one so much. For me, it was like a random thought. It was first, and I was going to do something, and I hit up my engineer Rick. Hey, I'm gonna lay first real quick. No chorus or no anything. It's first. We got in there, started doing the work and getting busy, and then the song, and we end up. They end up helping me to write a chorus to it, and they're just like, "Well, how about this?" And kind of just worked out. But that song is like definitely as far as my recovery, um, influence that I had to make in order to get sober, and then for me, it's life and death. But yeah, aside from that, a lot. Uh, relationship, I have a relationship. The last time I was on your show, I was not in a relationship. Now I am. I've dropped more singles. Rains That Pours is another one I dropped with my friend and fellow artist Millie Blooms, who's out in the UK. Life overall really good. Like it's been COVID once, I think, now than that week, which was like 2 weeks ago. But I mean, it didn't take me out, so I'm still here and grateful for that.
I see a difference in you from our very first interview that we did to now. I see a complete 360 where you were in this space where it's just like, okay, how can I get out of this space? And you're using your music, which you still are doing. And I see a shift. Like a weight has been lifted off of you. Everything, like the single speaks for itself. I was about to dive into it and you took it right out my mouth. But I've listened to the lyrics of this single right here. And it's just like, okay, he's in a different space right now compared to the first one where it was very dark, very gloomy. Misery touches on that, touches on depression. You've talked on that in our very first interview as well too. So I see a change, and it's like when you find someone special, that does it for you. When you're in a different space in your life, that does it for you also as well too. So do you see the shift that has happened from then, misery, to now?
Definitely, it's. I think other people saw it before I did. I saw it as grad, but after taking time to like when I will wake up and you just kind of see like there's a little more brightness here, feel a little more positive and optimistic, a little more hopeful for life. No more like survival and struggle. It's like thriving and enjoying the process. And I definitely feel like I'm in that space now.
And of course, you've still been staying focused on your music. I've seen you with your artists. You've been promoting. You've been doing performances. How does that make you feel? And then this climate. You're in a space where you're happy. The climate that we're in is the beginning of opening up the show. I suggested that people get out and get registered to vote. How are you feeling about everything that is going on, and then balancing that out as an artist?
Mhm. That's it's always interesting because every year it's always at this where it brings up all these different emotions, different feelings. But learning how to balance creativity in the artistry and being able to speak the truth within that music, I think is a foundation for any artist. And I learned in recovery. Like, that's what's helped me to really stay balanced with it. Like in the recovery, like the 12-step program, whatever program, 12-step program, it allows me to look at where I'm impacting life, where I, what's in my within my control to make a difference, to do something, and what's just me worrying unnecessarily. So I'm willing to always take action on what I can do and be a positive influence where I can be and do it exactly what I can, but also live my life at the same time. So I'm not so focused on things that I have no control over. And prayer and meditation helped me a lot with that.
Mm,
I did prayer life. My mind, like when I was actually addicted, I was all over the place to do stuff that had nothing to do with me or things that I was powerless over. And it really just, honestly, the 12-step program allowed me to stay back on to enjoy my life and also do what I can where I can as far as being a positive influence on other people's lives, but also living my life to the fullest to make sure that I don't waste it because it is to be able to be alive.
absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that because during this cycle that we're having, this new agenda that is coming up and what they're trying to take away from us, you have so many people in times of uncertainty. And you said meditation. What are some other tips that you would give as an artist to the listeners, to the people that are watching, that are in times of uncertainty? Because I know there are days when I wake up and I'm just like, okay, what's going to happen next? What are they going to do next? It's always something new. So, what advice would you give to some of your listeners that listen to your music, that that are impacted by your music, that are having times of uncertainty or just being unsure in this climate that we're in?
What I can things that have helped me to navigate this world and like the climate spiritually and physically is I mentioned the first like the prayer and the meditation, and then two finding out the right source, the true information going on. Like because I know
Yeah,
with social media and everything, it can really disturb and distort the truth. So you have to find, sift through all the BS to really find out what reality is and see and move from there. Because that way you're able to move from the truth as opposed to something that could just be somebody told you something or you saw a reel or you saw something and now you're just emotionally on fire about that, but it may not even be what the case is. So looking and it's hard because we have such with social media we have such a short attention span. Nobody really wants to actually look in and dive into anything. So it's difficult for the average say to like, want to take the time to figure out what the reality of the truth is. But I think educate yourself for one on if it's something to do with the climate, like educate yourself and then find out what the truth is, and then whatever your core values and beliefs are, move from there. Because that's in reality all you can really do. And then there's going to be some stuff that's outside of our control as individuals. But not allowing yourself to fall into a spiral where you stop living your life and you put yourself into this sort of a mental prison based on fear.
absolutely.
Right? So then you're not even doing anything, even if something is not happening. You're in this mental prison where you're not even living your life anymore. So
Absolutely.
that would be my advice, just to actually live and enjoy the process. Because I mean, inevitably, one day our life, right? So I think it's fair for us to not take for granted being alive.
I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. And it's a quote from Nina Simone. It's a video that is circulating from her, and she says, "What does freedom mean to you? No fear."
Mm,
So, what we're fighting for right now is freedom. And yes, it's going to be scary. It's going to be a scary process. But we can't lose focus. We can't get distracted. But we also have to make sure that we are also protecting our mental health and peace as well too, because you are sacred. You only get one mind, one body, and one soul. And I've had to realize that as well too. There have been times when I've had to take a break because sometimes it can be draining, it can be exhausting. But learn when to unplug. That would be some of the advice that I would give to people as well too. And I don't fall into the hype of the misinformation and the disinformation as Multifaceted Monster just stated. It's so much of it going around. It's like, okay, who's telling the truth? Who's not telling the truth? And now I know, doing years of interviews and having this platform, that you have to do your research
mm,
and fact checked and all of that. So me being the hostess of this platform, I got that. I got that. Y'all don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna make sure that people get the truth and have the truth, because we have been for so long told one thing, and then it's okay. I gotta backtrack. I gotta backpedal. No, I want to make sure that I have everything, dot every I, cross every T, because things have happened so fast in this world. It's just like we've lost so many people over the weekend. We lost Fat Man School.
yeah.
And Multifaceted as an artist, what has his music, has his legacy, has his impact? Because he's hip hop, you're hip hop. What has his impact and legacy done for you throughout your music career?
Most memorable part, the first thing that comes to mind is when the like the energy brings right to like the hype man. He's known like that reputation being. I think the first time I think will be with Sierra, Miss Elliott, where he
Mm-hmm.
was the it, that type of music. Like he had an impact as far as the hype, bringing that energy to, to the crowds and to the music. And you need those types of people because it's. I mean, depending on what type of song, your message you're trying to deliver with the song, you want you want people to be alive and well with you. And when you have a
Yeah.
good, it's just a whole different vibe versus like if you're performing solo. But I think his impact has definitely been great. I don't know his full history, mind you, so I'm not like super fan where I know 100% of all the facts and everything about him. But I know he had a huge impact. Everyone is circulating throughout all social media. You're seeing it, even if you didn't know prior. You know, like okay, yeah, I heard him on this song. I heard him on this. Like I heard like you know of him and you know who he is. And definitely rest in peace. My condolences to his people. to his immediate family. I mean,
Yes, that threw us all for a loop. And that just goes to show you that we're living in times of uncertainty where anything could happen. So that's why my guest that I had on last week, Friday, Richard
hmm
Fitzpatrick. I'm getting the names mixed up, Lord. I'm sorry, y'all. But Richard Fitzpatrick, we touched on this last week. He lost his son. He came on the show, and in the beginning of the show, he said, I asked him how he was doing. He said, my son passed. I was like, wait, what? I'm sorry. We're losing so many people right now. And it's because we're not giving them their flowers while they are here right now.
yeah,
And I've literally had one guest come on my show, and he's a dear friend of mine. His name is Ricky Taylor. He's an actor. You guys remember it. And I broke down crying and everything because he was just pouring into me. Give people their flowers while they are here right now, because
yeah,
tomorrow is not promised. And his son was 38 years old. I'm 30. So I have a nephew now. I have a whole future and a life ahead of me to think about. And my sister, when she passed, she was in her 30s. So it's just like, oh my God, why is it that everybody that I come close to or in close proximity to, everybody that's in their 30s is passing away? It's just like it doesn't matter what age you can be, in any age. When it's your time to come home, it's your time to come home. And the best advice that I would give to everybody is to live life to the fullest,
hmm
because tomorrow is not promised. We are living in times of uncertainty, or just people being unsure, not know which direction they should go in. And to anybody who's faith based, or the beauty of it is that you get to worship and love who you want to love. Mainly worship who you want to worship. My mom brought me up Christian. So
hmm
I'm spiritual.
yeah,
The thing is, I was taught not to judge people. And that's the thing about it. You go out here and you don't pass judgment on anybody. That's a whole nother conversation. But the key thing is, if you find something, which is what Multifaceted Monster just said in the beginning, mid part of this conversation is, I meditate. So a lot of people do specialize in Buddhism. They specialize in being Muslim. There's different things that can give you a state of peace. And I know for me, I read Bible scriptures every morning. Um, I believe in all things Christ Jesus who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. That is one of my favorites. And that's what keeps me going. Every day is a Bible scripture for me, or if not a Bible scripture, it's an affirmation for me that gets me going in the morning.
yeah,
And one of my favorite affirmations is, I say it all the time, I am surrounded by love. I am surrounded by people who uplift me. I am surrounded by people who pour into me, and I do the same for them. But I still make sure that I take care of myself. And that's human nature. We give to people all the time,
right,
but we got to make sure that we are pouring back into ourselves as well too.
yeah, absolutely. 100%. The first to take back to what you said as far as for a constant improvement. That's in any age group. There's from yeah, people that have someone who their father just passed recently.
Yeah.
Other people that with this whole and me being in the world of like addiction recovery, like I'm very uh, aware of the whole fentanyl thing, where people are dropping left and right like flies.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm in recovery, but like when I was younger, like I've drank, done all these other different drugs, or whatever. But it seems like now there's this drug fentanyl where people are like youngsters, teenagers now at that age, you're just
Yeah.
experimenting, you're part of the crowd. They're experimenting with this whole fentanyl stuff, and then they're dying. It's basically a poison. So it's like, oh, you think you're about to just smoke some marijuana, smoke some weed, and then it's laced with fentanyl, and then that's your last, and you're dead. Heard even somebody, I usually go down to it's a beach out here called Huntington Beach, and they do like fellowship recovery out there. And
Yeah.
there was a guy giving a testimony saying that he's like, yeah, I don't even drink or do hard drugs. I just smoke weed, and went to this dispensary, got some weed from a dispensary. So he figures like legitimate or whatever, like legalized, whatever it is. And he ended up overdosing. It was laced with fentanyl, and he got it from a dispensary. He ended up going to the hospital and being revived and all that. So like definitely the on what you said as far as got to be appreciative of the time that we have to fight, whatever battles or struggles, whether you're left leaning, right leaning, within all of that, fighting our fights and doing what you need to do and standing up for what you believe in, living your life while in the midst of that as well, because it's it's tragic for us to like look up and it's like your former guest said or your previous guest about giving people the flowers while they're here. Like I'm super like with all my people, my friends, we're super like loving and affectionate towards each other. You want to take us pictures, videos, all the shit, like experiencing, like doing stuff together because there's people that I'm taking pictures like maybe last year, then there's some of these people are gone. Then when I'm looking at these pictures, and you just think like, damn, this person didn't make it, or this person overdosed, or this person committed suicide. Like when I'm looking at these pictures, so I definitely gratitude while we're here is it's a must for me.
Absolutely, because tomorrow is not promised, and even with this pandemic, I can even flash back all the way to 2020. I want to say 2019 to 2020, and the pandemic was still going on. We lost a lot of people. A lot of people lost their moms, dads, grandmothers, great grandfathers, um, family members, anybody who was close to them. It's just like, how do we process that? And everybody grieves differently. And it
Right.
goes back to our very first interview where you talked about drinking and numbing the pain. And someone was saying this just not too long ago. I think it was my colleague, Bubs the God. And he had a conversation with someone else on the platform, Dr. Nkumbe, and they were talking about how do people cope with pain.
Mm,
And alcohol is a way that people cope with pain, or if not that, they smoke it away. And the thing is, you have to find a healthier resource. And I know for me, fashion has been an escape and getaway because I get to see different colors, I get to see different textures of things, I get to see things that are out of the ordinary that I would not see in just being a regular everyday person. But
mm,
now that I'm elevated on this platform, it's like, okay, you're getting up there now. You're starting to see different things in the fashion world that you wouldn't typically see in your everyday life.
right.
So it's been an escape for me. Fashion is an escape for me. It's a form of escapism. And I'm able to get away from the things that stress me out, whether it may be politics, which I've delved more and more back on and been very vocal about where I stand politically, and it's with Kamala Harris. And not only just that, but being vocal about issues on injustice. We're now seeing everything come to a head. And that can take a toll on us as black people too. Because we're so quick to sweep things under the rug as it pertains to mental health. We have to make sure that we are being mindful to protect our peace. Because for so long, that 400 years of oppression, that is still with us. That is still with us. And it's going to be hard for us to let it go because that's what we're still fighting against right now is oppression. So the best way to get rid of it is to talk about it. Find someone and talk about it. And we're seeing more and more of our people normalize and prioritize their mental health. And there's so many healthier alternatives out here. Like people go outside, and I think in our first interview you said I like to walk, I like to meditate, as you said again a few minutes ago. But find other outlets because yes, that alcohol can fix that pain. Yeah, it'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel good for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then once you kind of sobered up, it's just like, damn, like wow, this is really really real right here. This person is no longer in my life, and as you stated, I can no longer pick up the phone and call them. I can no longer text them. I can no longer message them any hour of the day, any given hour of the day. It's like, it's really real. And I knew for me, and I lost my sister. I touched on that in our very first interview. I lost my sister. And I remember having to be the stoic one, the strong one out of all of my siblings to because my mom she just broke down crying. I remember the day before her funeral I could not go view her body. I just could not. Me and my cousin we were really close to her, but we could not go view her body. My mom it was nothing for her, and my aunt and then my other aunt and my cousin they went to go see it, but I was like I can't do it. So moment of truth came that day of the funeral, and then I will never forget when we were at my sister's casket and we were all surrounded because you know at a funeral when you're at the grave site, the family gets to sit under the tent, and then there's the casket, and then there's the hole where they're about to put her grave or whatever.
Mhm.
And I remember looking over at my mom because I sat somewhere in the back because she was in the front. The front seats were already taken, and I had to go and sit to the back. And I just looked over at my mom and my mom's face. The pain of any mother having to lay their child to rest, or anybody to have to lay any of their family members to rest, is just unbearable. So I didn't shed a tear at that funeral. I was very stoic. But it really hit me when I got home and I just broke down. And then I remember a couple days back, my mom breaking down. She broke down twice over my sister, and I had to be the one. I'm just like, is it crazy? And now I'm the full grown adult child, and now I'm having to be like the mom and console my mom. So it's like we got each other's back. We understand that. And I'm thankful to have my mom. My mom has been a big influence. I'm surrounded by outspoken, bold black women, and they have inspired me to be vocal about whatever it is that is going on in the world. That means if you see something going on, you say something, and they don't back down. She's not one to back down from a fight or a debate. She's a Libra, I'm a Scorpio. So when
Mhm.
she stands on business, she stands on business. She's not about to let you get away with it. She's gonna have the last word and say so. She's not gonna leave it alone. That's the type of person my mom is, and I think I inherit that feistiness from her. So out of all of my siblings, because I have four brothers and two sisters, I said my sister passed in 2018. I would say I was the most outspoken, the most inquisitive out of all of us. And for right reasons. Like if you see something wrong, you say something. You don't just sit back. And when God gives you a gift like that, you don't take it for granted. And as it pertains to mental health, I say that without saying this. Speak up. Speak up. Michelle Obama, she said it best at the DNC, do something. And I want you to do something for your mental health. And that's for us as black people because we've been through so much from the civil rights movement to the Montgomery bus boycott to having water hoses and dogs turned on us to now what we're fighting for right now. And I'm saying that racism also takes a toll on our mental health. And it's draining. I know, Lord knows it's draining. Because it's just like, as a black woman, as a black woman, I'm like, I turn on the TV and it's some sort of disrespect from this other party towards her or any black woman that is in this country and or black persons in this country, not just black women, but black persons. And I'm just like, that takes a toll on black people. That makes us go all the way back to when we had to go in separate bathrooms, separate water fountains, all of these things where they had us divided. So rather than to divide, I would say bring people get together and unite for a greater cause, because that can take a toll on someone's mental health. Having to have flashbacks, that trauma is still going to be stuck with you. And I've opened up about experiencing emotional abuse from my childhood all the way up until now into my adult years. And I've broken the cycle, meaning that I won't ever let anything like that happen to my nephew. And neither will my brother, because that's his dad. So I say that without saying this. I want people to normalize mental health, to do something about it. There are licensed clinical psychologists out here who are willing, and it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It means that you are doing the godly thing. Because faith without work is dead. God put therapists here for a reason, and when you have somebody that is skilled and knows what they're talking about, it's good to have an outside opinion, and it's good to always talk to your family members. Like I said, I always talk to my mom. Me and my mom are very, very close. If not my mom, then my grandmother. If not my grandmother, then my aunt or my uncle. I'm very close to them. So reach out to somebody. And it's great to have people in your corner. I was telling Multifaceted Monster, give me 5 minutes. My sister just reposted me to her stories, and she texted me right before our interview. Like we keep in touch every day, every morning around 8 o'clock a.m. I would say EST. She would give me a text. Hey sis, how you doing? That's what we need to do. Pick up the phone, text or call somebody. Don't sit there and keep everything bottled up inside. And then we make the mistake and we beat ourselves up. Don't
Yeah,
beat yourself up.
yeah,
We all have flaws. We all have mistakes. I've done things I'm not proud of, but you can't keep someone told me this: you can't keep beating yourself up for old mistakes. All you can do is move forward in your present and in your future, which is what we are wanting to do now. We want to move forward to the present, not move back. Because if you keep beating yourself up, it's like beating a dead horse over and over and over again. The horse is dead already.
Yeah.
You can't continue to beating it. So we also have to be mindful and hold ourselves accountable for things that we've done in our lifetime. And here to tell you now, alcoholism, as Multifaceted Monster said, this is a journey, this is a process for anybody who's dealing with that. For anybody who's dealing with any sort of addiction, it's going to be hard. But you have to go through the ugly in order to get to the beautiful. Trust me, I know it all too well. My page got hacked. I had 3,000 followers. I had so many interviews, but I had to start over. I was devastated. And I use that as an example because sometimes you have to start over. There's nothing wrong with starting over. And I look at it as this. I'm going to use a fashion analogy because I'm a fashion girl. I love changing my hair. I love changing my style. I don't stay the same. Fashion trends don't stay the same either. So that means that we have to be willing to move forward with the present and not be willing to go back to our past. Because we can talk about it here and there. If you got feelings, you write it down. I keep a diary. And I
Yeah.
have several diaries here in my room with everything. And I go back and I read through, like, what was I thinking this day? And I just sit back. It's always good to reflect as well, too. And I love what Koyama74 just said in the comments, which is you can't change the past, but you can make a present and a future. Absolutely. And that's what we're thinking about right now is the future of this world. We're thinking about the future of our loved ones. Um, Before you know it, graduation season will be here. I don't know if it's already passed or whatever, homecoming, whatever, it'll be coming soon. We think about the future of our loved ones and what they want to do in their life and in their career as well too. So in this time, I say sit back and reflect. You're going to have to go through the ugly to get to the beautiful. Trust me, I know it all too well. You're going to cry, you're going to scream, you're going to get angry. That's good because you're releasing that poison out of your body.
Most definitely. Because otherwise, you're gonna try to figure out some way to numb it. Like you said, whether it be alcohol or drugs or
Just a
whatever
temporary
the thing.
fix.
Yeah, and it doesn't. The problem is still gonna be there. Whatever you're trying to run from, it's still gonna be there. So the reason that we run from, especially like within the Black community, is definitely like mental health is. It's been better now, as of recently. Like at least the crowds and circles of people I'm with, like, people are
Oh, yeah.
really serious about their mental health, and they'll address it. Like, you know what, I need to talk to a therapist, I need to talk to someone else. They're working with their sponsor in addition to working with a therapist because, like in this 12-step program, you have like someone that can walk the process, but they're not therapists. They're mental health professionals. So, but they could definitely walk you through some stuff. But for me, I use both. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't afford. Like, I just don't. I think I don't know. I think accelerating got past that where I allowed cultural influences to dictate how I was going to treat health because even the culture tear you apart because you're looking at these outside pressures like, oh, I shouldn't. Just like, for example, when you, like, it's a cultural thing that you felt like you had to be stoic when at the funeral and you felt like you had in order to be. When in
Yeah.
reality, is the natural, crying is this natural breathing. It's like our body, the way that we're designed, it does it for a reason. But we were told, like, oh, don't be a this, don't be a that, don't cry, suck it up, do whatever the common saying to the point where you're doing something that's healing for your soul. I think like said a song a long time ago where he said like crying is like taking your soul to the laundry. And when you give yourself that freedom to do that, like you can cry, you can feel whatever, or you can feel happy as opposed to I'm just gonna hold it all in and make the fun okay. So I could look externally like I'm good, so I could make other people who are probably suffering just as much. Now that's the example I'm setting for other people too, because whether we like it or not, we influence people around us.
Absolutely. and we keep that stuff bottled up inside. That's not healthy. And then one day when you're angry, what's going to happen is you're going to wind up lashing out at a person. They're sitting there trying to console you and help you, and you wind up lashing out at them because you're angry. So find it out, take it out on a different way. And I tell artists this all the time, and you're an artist, multifaceted master, that an artist is to reflect the times, and that's from Nina Simone. That's another one of my favorite quotes from her. An artist's job is to reflect the times. And while we have music out here, they say music helps people. It heals people because whatever you're going through, and I told y'all my favorite album of all time is the Mary J. Blige My Life album. That is the soundtrack to my life. Like she literally can feel pain. You can feel all these different emotions. It's just like, okay. And you sit back and you listen to it. It's about falling in love, falling out of love, going through the ups and downs. She touches on all of that on that particular project. So we all have to find music or find something and escape that will help us. But artists, as multifaceted Monster here, and a Mary J. Blige, and so many others, they sang what we're feeling. So you put on a song, and this song can save your life. I'm telling you, no lie. And music has made people literally rise out of comas. That's how powerful music is. So the artists are doing the world a justice by helping save people's lives because they know where you've been, they know where you're going, and you can probably have a family member that could have been through the same situation as you, or you yourself. It might be personal to you because it's just like, wow, as I'm sitting back and I'm listening to this artist is saying everything that I'm feeling.
Yeah, they say music exception where words like from the words on like I can't even tell you how many like quite deep conversations I've had with people via Instagram over DMs. I've been pretty open and vocal about like my where I'm at now. So people have been following that journey and seeing it. And I've had some really deep conversations with people like, hey, like just wanted to let you know that like I have this going through addiction, I'm going through addiction. Really
Yeah,
talking to them like having a private conversation like I will with any friend who is coming to me like, hey, what's happening? And just I don't necessarily give them advice, but I just tell them what I did in order to get from point A to point B, or from that unhealthy space to a healthier space. Like I was like, I had to let the struggling right go, go to rehab. Fortunately, work. I was able to go take that off so I could actually be like, okay, let me focus on getting better, and that opened up so many doors to actually health, to take care of the addiction of it, to all of it, in order that I could get back out here in the world and function like a person and be a contributing member of society in addition to just living life. And like you said, finding those outlets like it is like fashion for you. For me, it's like music and collaborating with other artists, just seeing art and how much art that I get. Like I don't want to take any music to the grave with me. Like don't want to be. I consider myself creatively impulsive because I'll think of an idea, whether it be merchandise, whether it be a song, think of an idea, do it because I know that I can talk myself out of, or I can think myself out of a creative idea, or somebody else who put their two cents in. Oh, but this and that, or like, just think about if anybody has ever, once you told them your dream to start this platform, I'm sure you had some critics and people that were like, oh, but this and but that, and et cetera,
right.
all these things. And it's like, I rarely ask activity because it,
Yes, you do sound kind of choppy. You going in and out a little bit.
I just saw that. How's it now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Can y'all hear him now? Give me a thumbs up if you can.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all know the colors. Give me purple and blue hearts if you can hear everything that he's saying right now. Fashion Dolls.
Check.
We are touching on mental health. This election cycle has been draining for all of us, but I want you guys to, again, make sure that you are protecting your peace and stay sacred. As for my ladies, y'all already know Niecy Nash, she posted something. She said, for us, we got to make sure that we're in our soft girl era. And I've seen that trending all over TikTok where women would say, I'm in my soft girl era. That goes for guys too. Guys, make sure that you're in your soft boy era. Make sure that you are protecting your peace because your peace is sacred. And for us as black people, we have the most underlying health issues. One of them being mental health. And as Multifaceted Monster just said, and I love what he just said, which is uh,
They said it much better
we
too.
keep it under the rug. We keep it under the rug. We sweep it under the rug. And I use this analogy all the time. Y'all already know what show I'm going referring to. Good Times. That episode when James came in the house, stormed in, he was mad, he was coming off from work, and that's for anybody just getting off from work. You can feel the pain because it's like I've been on my feet all day, all these hours, taking people's orders or doing whatever the case may be. He came in and he was mad. So I think it was Michael or JJ, one of them, they asked him, what's going on, Dad? Are you okay? And he's just like, no, I'm not okay. So fast forward, he picks up the chair from the dinner table, and what does he do next? He slams that chair against the wall and breaks the chair. And that just goes to show you that you never know what a person could be battling with or what they could be going through at that point in present time in their life. And for us, we sweep it up under the rug like it's, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. It's okay to not be okay. Can we normalize that for a little bit?
You
And
have
I think we have to get out of the feeling of what will people think about me? They're going to look at me like I'm crazy.
right.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with seeking therapy and counseling. There's nothing wrong with going to sit on the couch and talk to somebody.
Yeah, and it like having you got to think about it too from a logical perspective. The fact that you would allow somebody's brief thought of like, oh, what are they going to think about me, as opposed, and that's more powerful than I'm struggling and suffering inside, and I need to go get some help. And I think I saw some study where it's like the average person has like 50,000 thoughts a day or something. So even if they do think something about you, it's going to be for a brief second. And who honestly, who gives a shit? At the end of the day, like you have to take care of yourself because that's the only way you're going to be able to thrive and live your life to the fullest. Because you got to think about just how the internet is. And like, say you get a viral post, think about the comment section on a viral post. Think about how many people
Oh, yeah.
random stuff that has nothing to do with the subject. They're just like arguing in the comments on something that's totally unrelated. You got to think this is where people's heads are at. So if you give that any power over like your life, your lifestyle and getting help, it's just total nonsense if you really think about it. So I'm like, there's people that probably that have said stuff to me, and I'm just like, okay, like I got to think about it. How important is this person to my life? And you really have to put it in a perspective, like how important is their opinion to my life? Because for me to like look cool in their eyes, if that means me not want to get help for something I'm dealing with mentally, then I don't need that. I don't need in my life. They don't have your best interest at heart anyway. Because nobody that loves and cares about you is going to stand by and tell you, "Oh, don't go get the service, don't go get the help." That you, if anything, that just lets you know that that's a person that doesn't need to be. But that's kind of how I navigate mental health. I'm like,
And that's, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was about to cut you off.
oh, that's just how I navigate with my life when it comes to the people I surround myself with because that's all I want. It's like I'm gonna do the same thing. Like I'm gonna give you love and support. And like, hey, like if I feel like you're screwing up or you're screwing yourself up, then hey, like I'm not gonna stand by and just do nothing. Like if you're gonna take the advice, no, but at least I'm gonna say something because that's what love is. Challenges.
Hi, Vontae. I seen it. Make sure you guys please go and check out Vontae's new EP, Got Love, which drops next week, September 13th. Now, how do I know this? Is because New York Fashion Week kicks off September 9th, and I'm super excited about that. So make sure you guys are staying tuned here on Style by Stevie because you know I've got a few things up my sleeve. We're gonna have some new looks coming soon next week. Again, I don't like to stay the same, but back to Multifaceted Monster's point of what will people think about me. I've had to get out of that as well too. And the person who made me realize that is one of my viewers that come in, and he's like a brother to, he's practically my brother. I call him my fraternal. Ali Yankee came in and said, why do you care what people think about you or comparisons that people make about you and your platform to other people's? It is like, well, this person has their own identity and this person has their own identity. They're not you and you're you. So why should you care what the next person thinks? And I've finally developed a sense of a thick skin where I just don't care. And I think in life, we all have to develop that. And Vontae says, thank you for spreading words of wisdom. Just checked out your page.
Oh man, awesome. I'm gonna definitely check you out and follow you after the interview. I appreciate it.
As artist to artist, you both, and I told Vontae this, it makes an impact on people. Not even just through the listeners, but through other artists as well too. And I've seen other artists literally sit down and have a conversation saying, wow, your music has impacted me and your music has impacted me and has also impacted the whole world together. So through artistry, it is like a therapeutic process because you're putting all of your anger, all of your pain, you're putting it down on paper, you're putting it on paper, and you're going in that booth. And then you're having to relive it. All of these different emotions that you have pent out, that you've pent on that paper, is coming out in the booth. Whereas for me being the host of this platform, you guys see my passion. Y'all see my drive every day I come on. I'm happy because that's how I feel. You know, being away from y'all is like what is a great analogy that I can use? It's like
You're
me
part.
coming on without makeup. I need makeup. I love my, I love a beat face. I love a nice hair. I've always been the girly girl of the family, but I need it. I love it. It enhances my beauty. But at the same time, I can go without it.
Mm,
So when it comes to motivation and wisdom, that's something that I have to have a daily fix of every day. So when I get up in the morning, I have my conversations with God and I do my affirmations as well too. And that's another way that we can all stay centered and grounded is repeat those affirmations over and over and over and over again every morning. And I look in the mirror and I do it faithfully. And then if not that, I go and I do my morning devotion along with my conversation and my prayer with God. And meditation, as Multifaceted Monster just stated, keeps us centered. So find your standing ground of what makes you stay centered. People like to go outside and walk outside barefoot. Not this girl right here. I'm in South Carolina, and I know how big the bugs are down here. So I have a fear of bugs and snakes. So I won't do it. But to each his own. Do you? I just won't be doing it. but everybody has their thing. Because I've seen people do it where they walk outside and they meditate, and it's just like, okay, barefoot. And they're just like, I want to stay centered. I want to be centered with the earth. Or they will go and, what's another one? They will go and sit by the ocean. And the
yeah,
ocean is also therapeutic as well, too. So there's different ways.
yeah. It's like grounding. I do it. I'm out here in California, so we're spoiled. We can walk outside barefoot in California, but it's definitely one of those things that's helpful. Like being connect back with the world. And, yes, I watch the positive things. The life.
Girl, me neither.
Yeah,
Listen.
I'm really.
Listen. I'm in South Carolina. Do y'all know how big the water bugs is down here? Like, they jump and fly and everything.
Oh
So
yes,
no, ma'am, not me.
yeah. See, we're kind of spoiled in California. We got like little things, but we are not like something like that. At least I haven't experienced. But yeah, I I really like what your friend told your brother told you about. Like, who cares what they like? You there's not gonna be any other you ever again. There's not gonna be any other me ever again. There's never gonna be any other sunshine ever. There's not going to be so whatever you create or whatever your outlet is, no one's gonna be able to be. There is no replica or there's no clone of you. So
Mm,
whatever
mm.
you that God given and whatever God looks like to you, whatever that God given talent is in order for you to express, which I feel like just living is a God given gift because you could live your life in an example of like, I'm enjoying this process. And somebody could see you walk past someone and smile and acknowledge them. That could be something that person needed to be like, damn, somebody saw me. You don't have to have a full on conversation, but like they just felt seen, and that could have set fire on them. Where, because I've had that for me when I was like deep in my addiction and nobody wanted to see me coming, and nobody wanted to talk to me. You isolate yourself because number one, you're doing all this self-destructive behavior. You're just harmful to other people, so they don't want you around them. So you burn all these good story relationships. So when I went into the rooms of recovery and I was able to like have people that were like, "Are you willing to be sober? Do you want to be sober?" And there was no judgment. There was love. There was compassion. Mind you, it's not perfect. You got to kind of find your tribe within the tribe. But
Oh yeah.
I found people that was like loving and willing to be like, "Hey, like I've been there myself. Like, welcome." And that for me was huge. So that's why I try to be as compassionate and kind to any person that I come across or like talk to, and even if it's on social media. Like I've had some pretty deep conversations with people that I've never met them in real life, but they said they heard something about my addiction, and they were telling me about what their person was dealing with, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, well, this is what I did. You actually develop deep connections with other people, and that's one of the pros. I would say one of the positives of social media. It definitely has its cons, but that's one of the pros I would definitely say I'm grateful for.
And I love what you said. You've found your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So when you surround yourself with great people, like-minded people, it's about making sure that they stick within you. They stick alongside your side. They're gonna be there.
Right.
And if the ones that leave, let them leave. Don't worry about the ones that leave. Worry about the ones that stick with you. And it's important that we keep these people with us. We all uplift each other in this time because we need to be together right now more than ever with everything that is going on. So it's important that we unite together, all of our differences aside. And I said this last week on the show. I tell people this: sitting down and having a conversation with somebody, you might find that you and the other person might have some similarities. And
Right.
I've had that happen here on the show where I'm sitting down with one of my guests and it's just like, oh my God, you too? You could find out something that you both have in common. You never know unless you sit down and have a conversation with them. And that's imperative. Let me see what my girl Sunshine said. They need that in Kensington, Philadelphia. It's horrible out here. And so many people go to record them, but not really help them out. As it pertains to mental health, Sunshine, because that is a thing. You need to talk to somebody. There needs to be someone for somebody to talk to.
Right.
And you never know what a conversation can do to somebody, and that can make them feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
You never know what a person could be going through, and you put a smile right on their face just from talking to them or saying hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Something as simple as that is so powerful. Like you were saying, affirmation. I'm huge on affirmation as well. Like I really one of the things I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a book called The Four Agreements. I think there's like five of them now, right? It's called The Four Agreements, where the first agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz, and the first agreement is be impeccable with your word, like meaning your words carry power. How you talk to other people, how you talk to yourself and about yourself, even if it's joking, like your body response to that, you'll start believing that. Just like if you repeat a lie to yourself, eventually you're going to start believing it as being the truth. And it could be a positive thing. It could be, but you could be delusional about stuff, but then you could be like, you know, I'm going to, until you say you're having an issue with your self esteem. Like you look in that mirror every morning and you get up and you're like, you know what, I love you. I want to, what can I do for you today to make you feel better? Even if you don't feel it initially, you continue to do that. And eventually, in addition to doing that, with in addition to doing like esteemable acts, like conducting yourself in a way that makes you feel like I'm worth loving, and then you learn that you deserve love inherently. You were born like you deserve that, as and that you don't have to earn or work for it. Like you, it's just crazy the way that we think about it. But one of those things you learn. I think it takes me back to the saying that I learned like within the rooms of the 12-step program of like, let us love you until you learn to love you. When you first come in, rooms wherever you're all battered and broken, life probably falling apart, which mine was.
Oh
But
yeah.
you get that love, and you're like, damn, like because I made some mistakes doesn't mean like worthless. It means I made some mistakes, but I can start making better choices and doing better things. And you feel better about it, and then you start doing the same thing for other people, and it's like a domino effect. At least it's been for me.
And that's to anybody out here. You feel good about yourself when you talk about it. It's like a weight has been lifted off of you. And trust me, I know my mom would be like, our parents, our mothers know everything. First instinct, mothers know everything. Even at a young age, they know everything about us. They know when something is wrong. As we go into our adult years too, they be like, come and talk to me because we try to fix the problem on our own. I use that as an example is because we try to, as adults, we hide things. We
Mm-hmm.
don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about our emotions and how we feel. We keep it bottled up inside, especially as black people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 400 years. We have to unpack on what we've been taught, unlearn that oppression. Because we can't oppress other people, be oppressed and oppress other people.
Yeah.
And not just that, but keep it bottled up inside to the point where we explode. And it's a worse feeling. Like I remember blacking out in my teen years because I used to have anger issues.
Yeah.
Because I was picked on a lot throughout high school all the way up until, yeah, until the close to the end of senior year. Picked on a lot. But I've learned to stand up for myself, and that's what's made me stronger. I wouldn't be the woman that you guys see today if it wasn't for me speaking up for myself or other people speaking up for me or swallowing every pride. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let it ride, but at a certain point, you got to say something. And as it pertains to mental health, we can't keep that bottled up inside.
No.
Anger, depression, sadness, because it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
It's okay to cry. It's okay. You release those
Yeah.
tears.
Like you.
It's don't say your eyes sweating either, because a lot of people will use that excuse. Trust me, I've tried it too. Listen,
Yeah.
don't say your eyes sweating or I've been chopping onions. No, tell me the truth.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
Talk to me.
When you're hurting, you're hurting. It's crazy that we try to suppress it, but some of the healthiest people that I've met and the happiest people are people that often cry a lot. And I'm like, I used to wonder why that was. Just because they're allowing their emotions to process and they're like, okay, I'm sad right now. Someone just died. Of course you're going to be sad and you're going to be grieving. You don't have to put on this pretend. I think for me, music has become like a sort of a creative journal. Like songs are for me pretty much it's like a journal with a beat because you write about these experiences, whatever it be, whether it's heartbreak or whether it's addiction or whether it's like life being amazing or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And I've been able to try to write now from I can write from different creative spaces because I've allowed myself to feel sad. I've been able to allow myself to actually feel and acknowledge when I'm like heartbroken over a breakup or something, and acknowledge when I'm actually feeling happy and in a healthy, loving relationship like I am. And I used to have this idea that pain makes for great art, which partially I believe is true, like that it will inspire you. But I also used to have the false idea that I would self sabotage myself because I would be like, if I'm happy, I'm not going to make good music. So consciously, I was doing this because it wasn't until therapy and everything that I really discovered this. But I was like, I need to, if I'm happy, then I'm not going to have a good music. So I would like sabotage relationships and my own happiness. Back then I was like, damn, like looking back on it, that's insane. But it brings me back to something you said where when we're in the booth and we're writing, we have to revisit those emotional places where it was sad or it was dark or it was happy or whatever it was. And I realized that's actually a gift and a blessing in itself because I don't have to destroy my life and sabotage myself. I could revisit those times and those experiences that I've had in the past while still moving forward in life. I could write about those experiences and I could take myself back and have a flashback where when I'm recording the song, I could be in that headspace to make sure the delivery is authentic. And I don't have to, meanwhile, step out the booth and live my life outside the booth. I could actually live a life and have a loving relationship. That's just something that I thought of right now about the whole journey about emotion. I think is what sparked it.
And I hope you all are taking something away from this conversation today, because I wanted to touch on this because I know everybody is lost someone this year. 2024, I must say, is we've had some highs, we've had some lows, we've had some losses, we've had so many things in this year alone. The year before the year is out, we have to make sure that we are prioritizing our mental health and peace. It
Mm,
won't be easy because every day you turn on your phone, is something new popping up, something is going on in the
yeah.
world, and we're seeing it. But you have to make sure that you unplug and take care of you. So that self care day, I indulge in self care. I make sure that Saturday and Sundays, because I used to do shows on Saturday with my two co hosts on the
Mm,
platform here. And I stopped doing that and I just started doing it weekdays. Everybody's schedule is different now. So it's
right.
just me hosting the platform. And it's just like doing this for me, it gives me a lot of energy. It keeps me happy, keeping you guys happy. And not only that, but it keeps me active and aware. Like I said this on one of my shows just last week, you guys have lit a fire under me. And I feel the fire and I feel energized. I feel ready to go and I want to do more and more and more. But at the same time, I still have to make sure that I protect my peace and I take care of
Mm.
myself because that's beneficial to me as well too. So I want you guys to remember that before we close out this amazing conversation. So before closing out, because we touched on legacy last week, what is one thing you want to be remembered for in your legacy, Multi?
I want to be remembered as not taking any music to the grave, being creatively compulsive.
Yeah,
Like I don't like holding back when it comes to making music. I don't like to overthink. So if I had to put it into a phrase, it'll be like he was creatively compulsive. Whatever came to mind creatively, done. As long as it's not harming anybody else, I'm doing it. And I would encourage other people to create, let it out. Because one day you got
got to.
a chance to.
It's time is not certain to nobody.
Yeah,
Passing is uncertain to any of us. So we have to make sure that we are taking time for everyone each and every day. Reach out to somebody.
yeah,
DM them, text them, give them a call. Like I said with my girlfriend, my classmate, my sister, Felicia, she texts me every day. 8 a.m. It's like a ritual. And I look forward to it. I
yeah,
never get tired of hearing from her because she checks on me. So
yeah,
it's amazing to have people like that within your circle. Pick up the phone, call someone, talk to
yeah.
someone.
Call him.
My grandmother is 80 years old, but she's still here, still living, still kicking. Some people don't have the luxury of being able to pick up their phone and call their grandmothers. They lost them,
Yeah,
or their moms, or their fathers, or whomever. But I just saw my grandmother not too long ago, my aunt and my brother. I saw both of them, so it was great to see all three of them together. And she's alive and kicking it. Beautiful gray hair, and she, I'd say this, she has the spirit of a 20-year-old. Because that day she flew in a helicopter when I told you guys she had some stuff going on health wise. She didn't know she flew on a helicopter, so my mom asked her when she was laying down, you gonna fly on a helicopter? How you gonna get back home? And she said, fly. My mom suggested, you know, you flew. Didn't really tell her that she flew on a helicopter because my grandmother was like, oh, she would have been like, no. If she would have known, but she was out of it.
yeah,
So, yeah, my grandmother will let you know. And then when she came to, when she woke up, y'all, she asked the nurses in the hospital for a steak. That's how much. Yeah, my grandmother. Yeah, she has the spirit of a. That's why I say she has the spirit of a 20-year-old. She don't care.
yeah. That's
So now y'all see where I get the outspokenness from. It's from the women in my family. My mom mainly. But yeah, my grandmother, she don't care. She is 80 years old. Beautiful gray hair moving around here like a 20-year-old. And it don't make no sense. But as I'm blessed to have her, I don't know where we would be without her. Because that was too close. When she was in the hospital, that was too close. With a tumor, I'm just like, So we
yeah,
prayed, we got together, we prayed, the family came together. My uncle came down from Virginia. But his wife and my cousins, we all rallied behind her. And she stashed at my cousin's house. And my cousin took care of her. Thank God. And now she's back at her house. She's just like, when I'm going to get to go home. Because she's back to talking now. She's
Yeah.
like, when I'm going to get back home to my house. So my grandmother, I'm glad to have her alive. Some people don't have the luxuries of being able to call their grandparents or their mom. They lost them during a pandemic or lost them because just time. Time was uncertain and wasn't promised to no one.
Yeah.
So pick up the phone, call
Yeah.
somebody, text them,
And try to
see how you're doing.
visit them in person if you can. I think even more importantly, if you're able to, being able to connect with people and to even be on a brighter note, like, yeah, we have lost people, but be appreciative of the people that you still have. And it's like you said at the beginning of the interview that your friend told you, give people their flowers while they're still here, not until they're in the casket. Like, that would be my only end of note. Give them flowers now. Tell them I love you now. Give them hugs now. Do all that now because they can't fucking hear you from the casket. Use my language. But
No, it's
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
And that's the thing. We get so caught up in pride. Put your pride down to the side and pick up that phone and call somebody. The phone works both ways. Either one of you can do it. But we talk to each other.
I'm
Don't keep it bottled up
gonna
inside.
call my
Talk to
mama after
some.
the interview.
Right. I, as a matter of fact, I don't know what I think her and my little niece went somewhere, but we talk all the time. Me and my mom talk all the time. We're very very close.
Yeah.
So, just like when my grandmother and my aunt and my brother came over to visit, it was great to see them all together. And it's more and more. My brother and his girlfriend come down and visit whenever they can. I know their work schedule is hectic, but they make time for family. They make time so that I can see my nephew, who is now walking, y'all. And I can't believe 30 years of me living that I'm able to see my nephew walk. His little chunky legs, like he's standing and then he tried to stand and everything.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to be able to see that. I'm thankful to be here to do this talk show with y'all to bring y'all joy. I want y'all to have an escape. But before we close out, today's final thought comes from our President Barack Obama. He says, diversity makes us stronger, creative, and different. And this was back at a ceremony in 2014. And he was talking to people who served in the military. And that's what he said. So it's diversity is that's what makes us different. We all have different emotions, we all love differently, we all worship differently, but we all bleed one color, and that one color is red. We all have emotions, we all have feelings. And the key thing of this show today, this whole show was centered around what? And I talk about it all the time and I'll never stop talking about it. Mental health.
Yes.
You never know what a person could be going through. And I can go down a list of celebrities, singers and songwriters, multifaceted monster. I think we touched on this in our
Yeah.
first interview, and I gave you a list of just a few celebrities. We don't have Jimi Hendrix no more.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have Michael Jackson, who just celebrated his birthday. Greatest entertainers in music history, they're no longer here with us. We no longer have Phyllis Hyman. And these are people who battled with depression and mental health behind the scenes. Being a star that high of a profile, and you're going out, you're surrounded by cameras. I mean, it was a frenzy whenever they went out. And then you've got the tabloids publishing fake stories about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even true. These people have feelings.
Yeah.
We all have feelings and we all have emotions. They're no longer here to tell their stories about how they feel. Another one is Prince. We've lost some of the greatest artists in music history, and they're no longer here to tell their stories with us about how they feel or what is running through their mind. So it's the diversity that makes us stronger, that makes us creative, that makes us different, that makes us unique in a blended way. I call us a gumbo because you put so many different ingredients in a gumbo. When God created this gumbo, he said, I'm going to add everything in there for everybody. Different personalities for everybody. Everybody's going to worship differently, pray when they want to pray. But as long as they praying, that's all right. So I want
Yeah.
y'all to remember that. Remember that, fashion dolls. So great conversation today. Multifaceted Monster, where can everyone check out the single? The single is titled Push,
Yes.
featuring Millie Moon. Where can everyone go and check it out?
All right. So Push is the solo record. That one you can find Spotify. You could find everything at multifacetedmonster.com, which that link is in my bio. My website has all my music, all my merchandise. A Push, a music video will be dropping at some point soon, within the month, I would say. So it'll be a special music video that I definitely want to. I'm gonna reach out to someone. I want to have it premiered somewhere. So I might even hit you up about that. But I definitely, it's a very important message behind the videographer. Did a wonderful job. So check out the song Push, and yeah, on all the streaming platforms. And I'll say, take care of your mental health, just like you said. Take care of your mental health, and recovery rock.
Absolutely. You are sacred, you are divine, and your mental health is your peace. So please make sure that you guys are protecting it. And I'm going to keep providing a safe space for you guys to come and talk about whatever it is. Y'all just come out here and pour it all onto me. I'm just like, come on, lay it on. But I've always been like that, an ear to listen to people, a shoulder to cry on if you need it. I've always been like a nurturer. Again, I think that's one thing I get from my mom because she don't like to see nobody sad. She don't like to see nobody down. But as far as debating, I think I get that from her too, because she stands on business as well as myself.
Libra,
But
right?
nurturing, yes,
I'm a Libra.
she cares, and I care too. And I want you guys to remember that you are loved, you are divine, you are needed. You have so much here to be thankful and grateful for. So remember that. I love y'all, all right, Fashion Dolls. And joining me tomorrow, we have Septimius the Great. So you guys take care, and this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime. We are on the road to 700 interviews, and I think this one will be 670, I want to say.
Wow.
So the journey continues. Thank y'all all so much for your love and support. New York Fashion Week kicks off next week, September 9th. I'm super excited. So, new fashions coming. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later on. And multifaceted, as always, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate
You too.